What is up, my brothers and sisters? We are back with another Kyle's Best of 7. I'm sorry I didn't upload yesterday. I was swamped all week working and I didn't have time to edit, didn't have time to record. But we are back. Hopefully that is the only missed day this week. I'm going to try to get them pumping out again. But today we are counting down our best third baseman in the game. Now keep in mind when I'm giving you my list that I'm taking price into consideration. So I'm also trying to give you which guys are best considering their value. So some may have lesser stats than the one in front of them or the one in behind them, but it's probably has something to do with their price, and I will mention that their price is considered in the video. And also we are doing it primary position only. There's a couple positions where I'll switch that up because there's just certain guys that are better at different positions and that I feel are necessary to use at different positions. But for now, third base is not one of those. Now, for those that haven't seen, I uploaded a catcher's video, a first base video, and a second base video. My favorite catcher is Jorge Posada. My favorite first baseman is Frank Thomas / Lou Gehrig. And my favorite second baseman is Roberto Alomar. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure to check them out. See the guys I had before them. There's also some very good studs in there, very good on value. Let's get into the third baseman. Now, before we get started, I must warn you. This is probably the most stacked position out of all of them. I have 7 guys here where the top 6 or top 5 could arguably be number 1 each. I mean, they're all great. A lot of them are good fielders, a lot of them are good hitters. Actually, they're all good hitters, and this is just going to be a very stacked list. So make sure to be patient with me. If you think that there's one that I could have done better, make sure to leave me in the comments below. I really would like to know what your opinion is on everything. And make sure to let me know who you think the best third baseman in the MLB is. Not in the game. I want to know who you guys think the best third baseman in the game is. I think it's Alex Bregman. I want to hear who you guys think it is. Alright, let's get to number 7 on my top 7 third baseman. Number 7 is Kris Bryant. Now, you're looking at these stats, and as you're looking at them, it's like, how is he not a top 3 third baseman? I mean, you look at all of his stats and he looks stacked. You wouldn't think that he's number 7 on a list, but he is. That's how stacked the list is. But there's other guys that didn't make this list that are stacked as well, so let me tell you why this guy's on our list. Against righties, 94 power, 94 contact and 90 power, and then against lefties, 102 contact versus lefties, 122 power versus lefties. He has an 88 vision, which could be a little higher, but it's still a decent sized PCI, especially for a finest card, and he has 106 discipline. Now, the thing that I think is most important about Kris Bryant is that there's so many good third basemen that you're probably not going to start him. His price is good. His price is only $15,000. That makes him super valuable considering his stats because he can rake. He's a decent fielder. Definitely worthy of the price, but I think he's a bench bat because there's a lot of good third basemen that are a little better offensively and defensively that aren't too much higher in price. But this guy off the bench to platoon, and you want to face lefties with him, and you can swap him in the outfield or first base if you need to. I mean, overall, he's just a super valuable card. I had him on my bench for maybe a week or so, and I didn't face too many lefties to where I got to put him in. I also have Frank Thomas and Nolan Arenado on my bench, so it was hard to get him in situations, so I ended up taking him out and putting in another lefty, which happened to be Christian Yelich. But overall, I liked his swing. I like his stance. He feels super comfortable, especially against lefties. I think Kris Bryant is a phenomenal bench bat, and he's definitely somebody that you can put on your bench and absolutely ambush somebody with him. So number 7 on our list is Kris Bryant. Now for number 6, Matt Chapman. Look at those damn fielding stats. My God. Not only does he rake, I mean, I know 125 is the cap on hitting stats nowadays, but 82-97 against righties. That can hit jacks. I mean, it can. 72 contact versus lefties, 109 power versus lefties. He has a 92 vision, which is higher than Kris Bryant's. 92 vision is a decent sized PCI, even on Legend. With 101 discipline, this card is an offensive threat, even though you look at him and you notice that his strengths are his fielding. But he is no slouch hitting. You could even put him in the middle of your order. This guy will hit you home runs for you, I promise. I haven't gotten to use him yet because I have a third baseman that I specifically use that I haven't really had a reason to swap out. But if I did swap him out, fielding is so important to me in the infield, I would definitely probably have Matt Chapman as one of my first options. That 99 fielding means he will come crashing in on any slow, fluky roller that comes in. With a 94 arm strength and a 99 reaction, you're pretty much... you're safe. He is a safe third baseman. 71 speed is also decent for a third baseman especially, but with that fielding, it makes him one of the most valuable cards in the whole game. On that corner, when you have guys hitting shots down the line or hitting him in that shortstop third baseman gap and he's getting to those, that's saving runs, and you guys will start to see how many runs he's actually saving once you put him in there. I know a lot of you guys are using third baseman with silver fielding shields right now, and I'm sure you're not really putting it together, but add up all of those times they're bobbling balls in the infield, they're having that Olay animation. There's a lot of things that go wrong that result in runs, that result in losses. Matt Chapman, you will not have to worry about that. That is why he's number 6 on our stacked third baseman list. Now, number 5. Now, number 5 and number 4 to me are almost pretty much identical cards. The one difference is that Josh Donaldson's vision is a 90, number 4's is a little bit higher, and it seems that number 4's hitting is a little more consistent with the attributes than Donaldson. But Donaldson, as you guys know, absolutely rakes, whether it's his gold card, whether it was his silver card before. He just rakes. I don't know if it's his stance, I don't know what it is, but he hits oppo tanks, he pulls them for tanks, he hits tanks to center. There's something about his swing that makes him always one of the best cards in the game. Now look at these hitting stats. 97 contact versus righties, 101 power versus righties, 102 contact versus lefties, 115 power versus lefties. I cannot tell you how many damn runs I've given up to this card. It seems like he is always either hitting a home run off of me or hitting a double off of me. Or I just walk him out of straight fear because of what he's done to me. I have PTSD when it comes to him. His discipline's 114, which means you'll get a little bit of a benefit when it comes to those check swings. But his fielding, I mean, it's another card that absolutely rakes, and he has a great fielding. I mean, that's going to be a gold shield. He's going to be getting to these balls. His reaction could be a little bit higher, but an 85 fielding is still solid. 85 arm strength, he's going to be throwing lasers to the first baseman, which a lot of third basemen are going to have a good arm, but it's still important to point out. Josh Donaldson, there's not a lot else to talk about this card besides I am telling you, out of all the cards in the game, this is probably the card that I struggle pitching against the most. I don't know what it is, but he just kills me. He absolutely kills me. So if you want to be the one to beat me, to embarrass me, put Josh Donaldson in your lineup, because I promise you I can't hit him. I mean, I can't pitch to him. Him and Silver Jock Peterson. I don't want to talk about that. I don't like to dive back into that memory. It was a very tough time for me. It took some time getting over, but I finally feel a little more comfortable talking about it. And yeah, Silver Jock Peterson had ruined my life, so there's that. But Josh Donaldson is right behind him in the life ruining category. But try him out. He is an absolute awesome card. He's always good in BR. He's always kills me in ranked seasons. I probably should be using him or at least trying him out. But you guys know I got my golden boy. But for now, number 5, Josh Donaldson. Now number 4, Anthony Rendon. As I told you, his hitting stats are teeny more consistent. He has 111 contact versus righties, a 93 power versus righties, 107 contact versus lefties, and a 106 power versus lefties. Now, His power versus lefties is a little less, by like 9, but overall against righties is a lot more consistent, and his vision is 22 points higher, which is really huge. He has 112 vision. That makes a huge difference. But also, one of the biggest differences about Anthony Rendon that put him over Josh Donaldson in my mind, his secondary positions, he can play second base too. To me, that's huge. You guys saw the list before. Second base can be a little bit thin. So basically, I'm always looking for guys that can play both positions. And Anthony Rendon, for that, is a good person to have at third base, or a good person to just have on your bench to put in as a first guy off the bench. I mean, his hitting stats, you could face righties with him, you could face lefties with him. And if you need to pinch run or pinch hit or do anything, substitute because of an injury, whatever, you can put in Anthony Rendon at third, first, or second. He makes it really valuable. I mean, you can pretty much plug and play him anywhere. He has a gold fielding shield still, an 81 fielding, pretty much the same reaction as Josh Donaldson. Speed is pretty similar, same arm strength. Like I said, they're pretty similar cards. I truly do feel that way. I think Josh Donaldson's batting stance is a little more comfortable than Anthony Rendon's, but overall, if you're not really a guy who thinks about batting stance too much, I do think Anthony Rendon is the better card. It's really all preference. It could be because Anthony Rendon's my favorite player, but I do think that Anthony Rendon is the 4th best third baseman in this game. He's a guy that you need to try. Try him out. Let me know how you do with him. But for now, number 4 on the list, Anthony Rendon. It is time for the big guns. The top 3 best third basemen in the game. Nolan Arenado is certainly one of them. I know you guys know that already. He has almost as good of a fielding as Matt Chapman. Okay. And his hitting stats are pretty much better than everybody else we've gone over. Okay. Clearly a fine candidate to be in our top 3. A fine candidate to be number 1. But he's number 3, and that just shows you how stacked the other 2 guys are. 106 contact versus righties, 99 power versus righties, 107 contact versus lefties, 112 power versus lefties. Where's the weakness? 111 vision, 97 arm strength, 88 reaction. Where's the weakness? Now, this is a card that I personally have on my team. He's on my bench. Batting .450. Only 20 at-bats. 5 home runs and 20 at-bats. If you guys do that math, that's pretty damn good. 9 hits. 1 double. 14 RBIs and 20 at-bats. 1770 OPS. I mean, this is a good bench bat. I can assure you guys. He's a good bench bat. Now, everything about this card I like. The only thing that I have against Nolan Arenado is his batting stance. Clearly, I haven't struggled with it too much. I'm batting well with him. That's okay. But overall, I don't really like the closed stance too much. But for now, it's been okay. I'm not complaining about it. He actually is the first guy off of my bench to pinch hit every single game, no matter what. Even if it's against a righty, I put him in because I like to save Christian Yelich for late game situation. So Nolan Arenado to me is a must-have because I have him. So this isn't just a thing where I'm trying to sell you guys on another guy like a Matt Chapman or a Josh Donaldson. I truly do believe that Nolan Arenado is a must-have on your bench. And I mean, if he's not starting for you guys, of course. But for me, he's a must-have on my bench because my number 1 is my third baseman. So let's get to number 2. He's an absolute stud. He's basically Arenado, except maybe a little better or a little worse, depending on your preference. But he's my number 2. Let's check him out. Alex Bregman, my God. He is the best hitter in the game. I repeat, the best hitter in the game against left-handed pitching. 125 contact versus lefties, 125 power versus lefties. Now, you may be saying Frank Thomas has that too. Indeed, he does. But Alex Bregman has a higher vision. I win, you lose, thank you. 125 discipline. You're going to be getting those check swings. Check swings are awful this year, but you don't have to worry about it with Bregman as much, hopefully. Against righties, he still has a fucking great bat. 98 contact versus righties, 108 power versus righties. He absolutely rakes. 83 fielding, still a gold fielding shield. He'll get the job done. 87 reaction, that is a very good reaction. He will get those plays. 87 arm strength, you guys know Bregman has a decent arm. Somewhat decent speed, I mean, he'll leg out some doubles. But a strength of Alex Bregman, he has a secondary position of shortstop. Now you guys know shortstop's a very scarce position as well. If you don't have your Cap there or Honus Wagner there, I shouldn't be talking about this because I haven't done my shortstop video. So yeah, anyways, he plays first base, he plays shortstop. Shortstop's not the fullest position, so you could definitely try him there if you don't have him at third, or if you don't have him on your bench. He needs to be somewhere. He needs to be somewhere on your bench or on your team. There's no doubt about it. To me, him off the bench is perfect because he has 125 maxed against lefties that you can platoon him with, and his vision's crazy, his fielding's crazy. Get him in your lineup, please. Just don't even watch this anymore. Don't even watch for the number one. Just go put Bregman in your lineup, and no, you have to watch number one. You didn't just waste your whole time doing this for nothing. All right, I'll get into number one right now. Now this is a kind of a test for you guys that. Now this is a kind of a test to see how much you guys truly watch me. Anybody who watches me knows I hype this guy up all the time. He's always doing stuff for me. He's always killing it for me. He's probably my best player. I know I say Posada is, but when you actually look at the stats, this card is my best player, and you guys will see the stats. Not only do I think he's the best third baseman in the game, I think he's a top 3 card in the whole game. I truly do mean that. And if you guys don't already know who I'm talking about, here he is. My God. Lord have mercy on my soul. Look at these stats, boy. I'm batting 440. Keep in mind, I play on Legend. I'm in World Series. I play top guys all the time on Legend. Top notch. Good pitchers. The best pitchers. 444. 51 jacks. 1499 OPS. Slugging over 1,000. Almost a 500 on base percentage. Almost a 500 on base percentage. Now let's look at almost a 500 on base percentage. Come on. Chipper. Come on. A switch hitting, power bat, contact bat, decent fielder, decent speed, good vision, good discipline, good clutch, best batting stance in the game, can play left field as well. Come on. It's Chipper Jones, man. Chipper Jones is the best third baseman in the game. World Series reward. You can get him, you can buy him, you can earn him, you can steal him. I don't care what you do. Get him, please. 116 contact versus both sides. 105 power versus righties, 93 power versus lefties. This card was sent from heaven, personally, and specifically gifted to me to put him on my team to go on a journey through the mists of Avalon, defeating evil to achieve greatness. That's what he's been for me, and that's what he can be for you. Get him on your damn team, man. Come on, look at those stats. He's a switch hitter. Platoon advantage all the time. Bat him third, bat him leadoff. Invite him to your wedding, have him be your best man. I do not care. Chipper Jones, best third baseman in the game, I can assure you. I don't need to say no more. You've seen his stats with me. You've seen his attributes. Get him now. Alright? I'll see you guys soon. Love you.